Hi, what's better today? You're listening to the Leadership Advantage podcast with me, Dr. John Kenworthy, and brought to you by Celsim.com. It's why some leaders thrive and others struggle. Hey there, this is John. Welcome to this week's podcast, and I'm asking you a question this week. Do you want to impress people, or do you want to make an impact? I was away in a hotel recently and just settled down for the night, and there was one of those little incessant buzzings going on, flitting past my ear, and I was sharing my hotel room with a mosquito. Now, mosquitoes are commonplace out here. We don't like them. Don't think anybody really likes mosquitoes, but with all this fear about dengue, malaria and the new Zika virus, it becomes a little bit even more concerning as you hear this buzzing, and it just irritates you. And I recalled a quote of Anita Roddick's. If you think you're too small to have an impact, try going to bed with a mosquito in the room. And it's true. Most of us truthfully believe that we're a little bit too small. We're not quite good enough or big enough to have a real impact on the world. But when you think about thought leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, or even Oprah Winfrey, it's tempting to conclude that you couldn't possibly make much of an impact in the world like they have. After all, they're kind of special, aren't they? They're big. Well, I couldn't possibly do what they've done. While you may not be Mother Teresa or the Dalai Lama, you are never too small to make a real difference in the world. Because the truth is, you don't need to be famous or lead an historic movement to have a massive impact. You just need to do what needs doing in your corner of the world. Too often we take ourselves out of taking a stand or making a contribution because we tell ourselves it won't matter or that no one will notice. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, ordinary people around the world make the greatest impact in the lives of others. You can't put a price on teaching a child to be kind and empathetic, or spending time with an elderly person who has no family, or feeding a single mum and her children who've fallen on hard times. Think of someone you know who makes a real difference in your life. Are they famous? Probably not. When you think of ways that you can make an impact, you don't need to be big, world famous, or change the course of history. You just have to believe in the value, the significance, and the influence that you have on others, and then go out and share it. So, do you want to impress people or impact people? See, if we look at impressing people, impressing followers, you can do that with little or no relationship. All you need is the will to be involved and to leave a memorable impression on those followers. It can be done at a distance. It can be done at a concert, a convention, a conference. Heck, you can impress people on YouTube or Facebook. Even a tweet can impress people. But when you want to influence followers, that can be done, but it needs some relationship. Influence requires the will of the follower to be involved, their desire. The follower must want to be influenced by the leader, by you, and this usually involves a connection between that leader and follower, a relationship. But impacting followers can only be done through an intimate relationship, much closer. Both the wills of the leader and the follower need to be involved. They agree to accountability and growth, usually is up close and personal. Impacting people takes time, it's commitment and accountability, and the relationship must be much closer. But you can only impact a smaller number of followers affected at one moment because it needs to be closer. Whereas impressing people from a concert stage as a speaker in an auditorium is relatively easy to impress thousands of people. But making a real impact, think of the people who've made a massive impact in your life, and you will have had a close relationship with them. It's time to shift paradigms, especially for younger future leaders. They don't want a sage on the stage, they need a guide on the side. They want somebody closer who's caring about them. And as leaders who desire to impact others, we need to follow Dawson Trotman's axiom: more time with less people equals greater impact for everyone. Let me repeat that one. More time with less people equals greater impact for everyone. See, to truly impact people, leaders need to coach, mentor, and genuinely care about others effectively for the organisational and the individual needs. My challenge for you is to become a true servant leader for the people that you serve. So do you want to impress people or impact people? To impact people, you're going to need a closer relationship and commit time and set up some sort of accountability and work as accountability partners to make that impact truly happen. You go off, find somebody to make an impact in their lives, and have a blessed week. Bye for now. You've been listening to the Leadership Advantage podcast with me, Dr. John Kenworthy. If you'd like to find out more, visit us at celsim.com. It's why some leaders thrive and others struggle.